And as wildfires like that continue to affect our state, the Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness has now activated the State Emergency Operations Center. That center is to help coordinate resources to combat the fires and stop new wildfire threats. Hundreds of other fires have been reported across the state over the past several weeks. Just listen to these numbers from the Louisiana Department of Agriculture and Forestry. We're now 3 weeks into August, and there have been over 350 wildfires reported, with almost 5,000 acres damaged. That's more than double the 128 fires reported last month. These numbers have been consistently growing, as 65 fires were reported in June and just 21 fires in May. GOHSEP Director Casey Tingle is asking the public to continue to follow the burn ban, sharing, quote, "Crews fighting these fires are becoming strained due to the ongoing problems. We all play a role in preventing additional problems. Weather experts say this has been the hottest, driest summer to date for portions of the state. The dangerous fire conditions will likely continue for an extended period of time." Now it's time